Listen, I don't ever want anybody telling me how to run my business. So, I'm not going to tell anybody how to run theirs. But let me just say this much about the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not going to tell them how to run their business. I'm just going to say I don't understand how they do business. And their extremely weird business dealings really do seem to create constant distractions. Distractions they don't need. Distractions that could be avoided. And I thought that was the whole thing of every professional sports franchise. Avoid distractions. Case in point, they're getting started on a new season, and the biggest story in Bengals minicamp is that their all-pro pass rusher is not in Bengals minicamp. And regardless of what you think about Trey Hendrickson and how he's approached this whole holdout and what he's actually worth, we know this much. This much I do know. He's worth more than the $16 million the Bengals are supposed to pay him this year. I think we can all agree on that, except maybe the Bengals. But consider that he led the league in sacks by 3.5. I'll give you your comp, because this is the comp that he's pointing to. He led the league in sacks by 3.5 over Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett just signed for $40 million per. 40. And okay, fine. Trey may not be quite Myles Garrett, but he's also not the 10th best pass rusher in the NFL either, even if that's how he's being compensated. My point is this. My point is this guy has a point. There's a damn good reason why he's holding out, and it's no mystery or surprise as to why this is happening. Cincinnati could have taken care of this a long time ago. The contractual situation could have been avoided, and then we could be focusing on what could be, should be, an exciting season for Cincinnati rather than this mess that is this contractual situation. And isn't it always like this with them? Sure, they're not the only team, but especially this team, right? Primarily this team. Because we should be focused on what should be a potentially great season for them. There's no reason this team should not contend for a Super Bowl. I mean, aside from if Joe Burrow were to get hurt. But he's not. He's healthy. There's absolutely no reason why this team should not be able to compete. Unless, of course, they can't stop themselves from getting in their own way, creating unnecessary drama and distractions around one of their most important players. A guy who, by the way, has 35 sacks the last 2 years. And also, I'm not the one calling it a distraction. Well, I am, because it is. But there's somebody way more important than me calling it a distraction. No less an authority than Joe Burrow. Not an authority on distractions, but an authority on that team and that vibe and the chemistry. The leader of the team is the one who publicly voiced frustration yet again. This is not the first time we've heard Joe say something like this.
Is Trey not being here or his deal not done, is that a distraction?
Of course. Last year we had 2, this year we have 1, so we do have less. You'd love to have none, but, that's life in the NFL. We're all supporting Trey and would love for him to be back.
Of course. And not pulling any punches at all. Is it a distraction? Of course. It's like Joe in Super HD, Joe in 4K, Joe in 10K, Joe in 100K. Anyway, he's right. I mean, is that life in the NFL? Or is that life with Cincinnati? I'm sure that Joe is tired of playing mediator and arbitrator and middleman with the front office trying to get all his guys paid. I bet that doesn't get old or anything. Funny part about those comments, though, is Joe's technically wrong about that one holdout thing, because it's not just one holdout in their camp, it's 2. And the second one is straight up perplexing. Like, I think it's understandable how the Hendrickson thing got to where it is. I find it much more difficult, though, to understand how they're in a contract stalemate and dispute with the 17th overall pick, Shemar Stewart, a.k.a. the edge rusher that they spent their first round pick on, right? You obviously think pretty highly of a guy if you're going to exercise a first round pick. Not only that, but knowing them, they did it as a hedge against Hendrickson in the event that they couldn't come to terms with him on a new deal. But they can't come to terms with the guy who's slotted for a contract on a deal. So where's the hedge in that? Only the Bengals. Leave it to the Bengals to get into a contract dispute on what, in effect, is a predetermined, prearranged contract. Because apparently they're trying to wedge in some default clause nonsense in this contract so they can potentially void parts of the deal down the road. Believe me, there is nobody in the NFL that hates being obligated 1 second longer than they have to on any deal than the Bengals. They never want to do those deals. So the Rook takes one look at that contract and says, I think the word was, I don't like that clause. That's not a very good clause. And he's got a very good point, because the last two Bengals first-round rookies did not have any sort of default clause, and they both got picked later than 17th overall. So naturally, he's got no interest in setting that precedent for that team. He was interested, however, in setting the team on fire yesterday in the media, which is pretty incredible. Like, I can't wait to get to this. Pretty incredible to have a first-round rookie who's never even suited up, never even practiced with the team, already taking a blowtorch to that same team. Listen to the rookie's response yesterday about how long he's willing to take this holdout.
As in how far I'll take it? I mean, it just depends. Like, in my case, I'm 100% right. I'm not asking for nothing y'all never done before. But in y'all case, y'all just want to win an argument instead of winning more games, in my opinion.
Ho-ho! Thank you, Albie. I was going to ask for it. I don't know if you heard what he just said. Check out my Rook. My Rook's just casually nuking the franchise while sitting there all calm with his hand on his chin like he's the thinker statue. Like, my man is just spitting it out, couldn't be more calm. And clearly he is a thinker, because he might have just summed up that franchise better than anybody else ever has. Quote, quote, they would rather win arguments than football games. What an incredible line. He's already figured that out. He's already caught on to that. And he hasn't even practiced with the team yet. Hasn't even put the pads on yet, and already knows exactly what they're all about, and was able to articulate it better than I think anybody I've ever heard who's gone through that with them. They'd rather win arguments than football games.
See, I just want to win an argument instead of winning more games, in my opinion.
Wow. IMO, in my opinion. That is a bold statement from a rookie. He's not wrong, but a very bold statement from a rookie, which is why I love it so much. Now, I know there are Bengals fans who hate it. I know there are Bengals fans who think that this guy's not earned the right to say that, and they're already out on their first-round pick before he's even had a practice rep. And I've got to say, way to go, team. Way to turn the fans against your first-round pick before the first-round pick has even played for the team. That said, I also think there are a lot of smart, frustrated Bengals fans who don't mind this dude speaking out because they know he's right. They know he's right. And they know he's right about Trey Hendrickson as well, even if this is a wild way for a rookie to talk about it.
We all agree Trey will be right? But technically he's still 1% wrong for being on the contract. So in my case, I'm 100% right, so it should be a no-brainer. And in Trey's case, I think it should be a no-brainer too. I mean, he led 17.5 sacks for 2 years back-to-back. If I was the GM or I was the owner, take all my money. But I guess they don't operate like that.
The thinker is killing me. So what he said was Trey is 99% right, but 1% wrong because he is under contract. Me, I'm 100% right. But if I were the GM, I'd just say, take all the money, but I, quote, guess they don't operate like that. No, my rook, they don't operate like that. Again, you figured it out pretty quickly. But no, they don't operate like that. In fact, they operate in a manner that's the exact opposite of that. And that's why so many people in Cincy, including the quarterback, seem frustrated yet again with the front office because the front office seems more focused on, quote, winning arguments than winning a Lombardi. And make no mistake, that should be the main focus of that team right now. They should be hunting a Super Bowl. If Joe Burrow is healthy and in his prime, they should be contending, period. And if they're going to contend, they're probably going to need their all-pro edge rusher. And if they don't have their all-pro edge rusher, they're probably going to need their rookie first-round edge rusher. And if they're really, really, really going to go for it, and they really, really want to be legitimate Lombardi contenders, then probably you want both, right? Or maybe they would rather just win an argument than win games. But here's my question. Exactly what arguments are they winning here? No mystery how we got here, though. We already had Katie Blackburn drop the quote of the offseason when talking about the Hendrickson holdout situation back in April. Remember when she said, quote, I think he should be happy at certain rates that maybe he doesn't think he'd be happy at. I think some of it is on him to be happy at some point. And if he's not, you know, that's what holds it up sometimes. End of quote. I mean, no wonder this dude's out of his mind. Can you imagine trying to argue with that? Oh, now I understand. Now, why didn't you say so, Katie? Now I get it. Now I see. This isn't about Trey not honoring a contract. This isn't about Trey being greedy. This isn't about Trey wanting to get paid. This is about Trey needing to be happy. It's a choice. It's not a market. It's a choice. It's a mindset. It's a positive mindset. Man, what's the matter with you, Trey? Just be happy. This is not about the market. This is not about your productivity. You are just supposed to be happy. Happy with what they offer you, regardless of market value and production. What does that have to do with anything? If you're not happy, bro, with what they offer you, then maybe you're just an unhappy human being. And then that's on you, because it's definitely not on us. Because we were very happy people. In fact, we are happy people. And we did everything we could to make you happy. But you chose not to be happy, so that's on you. You let us know when you want to be happy. And when you're ready to be happy, that contract will be right there for you. Huh? Hey, Katie, thanks for clearing that up.
What?
And by clearing that up, I mean, thanks for reminding the world how cheap and petty and how illogical the Bengals are. All I'm trying to say here is, Bengals, get the hell out of your own way. Stop doing Bengals things, Bengals. Stop being so cheap. Stop trying to win arguments when you should be trying to win the Super Bowl. Stop trying to tell your superstar players that, you know what, at some point you just got to be happy. You just got to be happy with what we're offering you, because what we're offering you would make anybody else happy. It makes us happy, so why are you not happy? Newsflash, Cincy. The actual goal here is to win games and contend for a Super Bowl. And you're one of the few teams with a quarterback who can win lots of games and contend for a Super Bowl. So how do you not get that? And why are you not happy? Why am I not happy? It's got nothing to do with me. It's an incredible thing to say. That quote is an all-timer. You know, maybe Trey's just not a shiny, happy people. Maybe Trey's just miserable. Come on, Trey. Be shiny, be happy. Be shiny, happy people, Trey. What's the matter with you? If you're watching on the stream, hey, Trey, I have something to say to you. Yo, man, why don't you smile? The first step in becoming actually happy is to move your lips into a smiley position.
Smiles and glory holes.
Maybe if you throw off some positive energy, Trey, it'll come back to you.
Smile.
It'll boomerang on you, but positively. Why are you bringing everybody down, dude? Be happy, Trey. Hey, and by the way, Rook, if Trey's not happy, then you're just damn negative. You're probably the most negative Rook ever. Yeah, I mean, you can't hide it with that smile, Rook.
Daddy's always happy.
Rookie's never happy. Edge rusher's never happy. Why are you happy? Man, so many of you are so miserable. Thanks, Avi. You imagine your lead negotiator, an executive saying, hey, you know what? At some point, Trey's just got to be happy. Hey, there you go, Lauren. Lauren turned Trey's frown upside down. That's what you got to do, Trey. Just be happy. Unbelievable. 1-800-636-8686. I love, though, that a Rook who hasn't even put on the pads yet has already got all figured out. They'd rather win arguments than games. I can do a whole hour on this. Like, I absolutely love that when asked to break it down, he goes, well, Trey is actually 99%. First of all, he's talking about things that he's never even been there for. Like he's an authority. But he actually is, if you listen to what he's saying. Trey is 99% accurate and correct and 1% in the wrong because he does have a year left on his contract. Technically, he's under contract. He goes, now me, on the other hand, I'm 100% right. I love that. And just so matter of fact, too. Just with his hand on his chin, being the thinker. It's my favorite Rook in quite some time. All right, so we have that. Bengal fans. 1-800-636-8686. If we're talking about Cincinnati in the middle of June, you know it's because they're cheap. And no, I know you're not the only team that has guys that are unhappy with their contracts, but you always have guys unhappy with their contracts. You're the Bengals. You have a window and a look at a Super Bowl. What's more important here? Well, I already know the answer to that.